The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Ian Flynn is here on this show?
Beware.
You'd think he'd have something better to do.
No, this is about par for him.
Oh, okay. Weird, but all right. Hi, Ian.
Especially it's awkward when he gets to that third person mode and starts talking to himself like that. Anyway, hi, Kyle.
Yeah. Well, we're here. We have many questions, and I suppose we probably should answer them, I guess. I don't know. What do you think?
First, we got to remind everyone that they come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Oh, yes, indeed. We'll start off where we always do, in the A's, with Alice and S. The wedding crashing adventures begin. First up, the Fortune's Lap crew crash a wedding amongst the Age.
So, Forn has decided that this is their op. He's treating it like an Ocean 11 heist because they're out of food and they're out of money. So this is how they're going to get by for the next few days. Everybody take a goodie bag, stock up on hors d'oeuvres. They're not going to the first phase of the wedding because that's more for the groom's side of the family. They're not going to the second phase. That's the bride's side. They're going to the third phase where the two families come together. The crowd's the largest. It's easier to sneak in. And he tries to inform everyone on the P's and Q's. This is a fairly casual affair. These are among commoners. You don't have to observe too many particulars, but only one out of the four of them is Ajay. So he's a little worried how this is going to go, but now he's going to present himself as this, and here's his adopted kids, Wind and Lissy. Sure, that works. They're human. Don't ask too many questions. Stay close to him. Don't engage with the other guests. For the love of God, Wind, stay away from the karaoke machine.
So when does he start lying?
Oh, he starts lying the minute they get on the floor.
But this whole scenario of him adopting them, that's not a lie.
No. They're not family. They're crew. He's been very clear with that ever since Wind joined them. They are crew. They're not family. They may bicker like family. They may refer to each other in familial terms. They may love and trust each other like any family would, but they're crew. Don't get them wrong.
Yeah.
They're just humoring Lissy with that whole Uncle Foreign thing. So he loses track of them almost immediately.
Right.
Wind makes a beeline for the karaoke machine.
Yeah.
Lissy's making friends with everyone that she meets.
Good.
And somehow Jawbone becomes the minister.
You'd think he'd already be slated to be the minister. Like they already called him up a long time ago.
You were supposed to be part of the catering staff. Well, one thing led to another, and here I am. Just call me Faithful Jawbone. How was the service? Actually, it was rather good. When did you learn to do that? I know a guy.
Was slated intentional, by the way?
It was not, but that is delightful.
Okay, good. I was wondering, did you mean to use that word, or
sometimes genius comes to you?
It just comes out of you sometimes, and sometimes other stuff comes out of you.
More often than not.
All right, here's one from Andrew D. What are some cliches or rules in comics that you both find immersion-breaking or off-putting, despite understanding why they are important? For example, when characters in the beginning of an issue refer to each other by their names, sometimes even full names, in a casual conversation. It feels unnatural, despite being important, so the reader knows who the characters are, especially if one's name is also the name of the comic's title.
Yeah, I feel like that one's easier to massage in every now and again.
You can kind of overlook that. Yeah, that one's not too egregious.
I mean, you find the right emotional beat and just saying you isn't going to cover it. You say the person's name because you want to be emphatic. It works okay. The one that I feel like never really works is when you're referring to each other by familial relation, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why you said that, sis. Look, just because you're my brother doesn't mean I have to always agree with you. That never feels organic.
That's always feels forced. Yeah. I've gotten used to it. It's not really a big deal, but it is one of those very weird sort of things. It's like that's not really how people talk. So, but I don't know.
The other one,
I'm trying to think of any more.
The other one that's always been very hard to find the right balance for is the introductory expository dialogue.
Mm.
The way you need to bring the reader up to speed without just throwing an opening paragraph at them, or because the opening paragraph isn't going to cover the nuance that you need for this particular beat in the story.
Mm.
It can be done, but more often than not, I feel like it's pretty on the nose and it just kills the pacing. So it can be done. It can be made to feel organic in certain circumstances, but I feel like that one's a lot harder to tee up than necessarily the name drop.
Yeah. There's also that whole trope of you and I both know blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, as you know. If I know it, then why are you telling me?
There's only so many military debriefings or news broadcasts or
yeah,
such.
And it's funny because none of these are exclusive to comics in the slightest. They're used everywhere all the time. I do love the coincidentally timed news broadcast that just happens to be loud when everything else on the TV or radio or whatever is completely silent. It's like, wow, perfect timing.
It's wonderfully convenient that all these major cities have a large jumbotron with speakers. Always turned into the one particular news channel. I know I'm guilty of that at least once.
I'm being told those are awesome. Never knock those. I'm not saying they're not funny. I'm just saying it's convenient. It's just funny. It's silly. Just goofy storytelling things.
One rule of thumb I was taught early on that I've always had friction with is start off with an action beat.
Mm-hmm.
Do something to grab the reader on the first page. They go through the rest. Have something on like page 5 for the solicits to grab you and come back, and then make sure you have a stinger on the final page. And the page 5 stinger, the page 10 stinger, the final page stinger, those can feel organic enough that I've done this enough that I can find that cadence more often than not.
Yeah.
But that opening action beat, sometimes I prefer the slow burn. Sometimes I prefer to, do a build up to your expectations. You flip the page, boom, the thing is happening.
Mm-hmm. Is that so common anymore still? I guess it probably is, but
I would have to do like a full analysis of what's coming out these days to say one way or the other.
Yeah. Ah, well, it's still a good time. Comics are still a good time. There's all sorts of fun storytelling tropes and all sorts of annoying storytelling tropes, but it's all good. Anyway, that's me. You may be wondering how I got here.
Record scratch.
Here's one from Ann Tales. Something that I've come to realize as a parent of a young child is that most contemporary young children's programming is garbage. But one of the few exceptions is Bluey. It's actually pleasant to watch, and while my child doesn't get much screen time, I'm confident that this show won't cause brain rot. I don't know, Ann Tales. I think any show can cause brain rot. But anyway, I digress. I recently found out that the show has quite the fan base, with a subreddit of over 160,000 members, for example. I'm guessing neither of you has seen it, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the show if you have any. If you know absolutely nothing about the show but find yourself babysitting a young family member, you can find some episodes on YouTube. You won't regret it.
I've not really seen any of it, but I have gotten that sentiment just in passing.
Yeah.
That it's a solidly written family show. You know, it's geared for younger viewers, sure, but it's good for the whole family and it has good lessons to it, and they're done in smart ways. So,
yeah, I've heard that too. But I mean, to be fair, most children's programming has kind of always been garbage. So let's not throw current modern children's programming completely under the bus. Like we had some pretty bad garbage back then. Back in our day too.
Rainbow.
I'm not saying that it was all bad, Ian.
Sesame Street.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
All right.
Bear in the Big Blue House.
You're listing off all the well-known popular shows that people actually like, not all the garbage that was in between all those.
And I'm saying that there was content out there to be had.
Yes. I'm not saying that nothing was good. Not saying that. I'm just saying there was a lot of garbage back then too. Yeah, a lot of forgotten garbage. Trust me.
Rika's Castle. Today's special.
I don't know what those are.
Probably before your time. Also, I also have a bit of a different perspective on it because my younger brothers were very spaced apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of came back into the children's programming thing when babysitting them that normally I would have moved on from. So
right.
I got exposure to a lot of them that probably you would not have given the time of day to, because why would you? They're not for you.
I guess. I don't know. I was weird. I was still watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in double-digit age.
Well, that's because Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is a port in the storm. It's such a wonderfully calm show.
It's a timeless classic, honestly. It really
Absolutely.
is. It really is. Oh, well, let's go ahead and move on. This one's from Brett F. Witch Hazel and Lola Bunny as Robot Masters?
Hazelwoman would be fan-freaking-tastic. Doing that cackle and the little, like, ankle bop, and then she disappears, and then a hail of hairpins floods towards Mega Man, and it has to dodge them.
I could see it, yeah.
Teleporting around the stage, throwing lightning bolts and various other spells.
I think
maybe if you get hit by a spell, you get turned into one of the robot animal helpers briefly, and you've got to figure out those mechanics on the fly.
Would Lola just be Bunny Woman, or would she be Lola Woman, or
Lola Woman? I mean, what was her gimmick with her remake? Her revitalization, was she just kind of crazy?
I think I don't know. I'm not 100%
they were all
sure.
a little loony.
I think she was like kind of high strung. That's kind of what I'm vaguely remembering. I don't recall though. Like quirky.
How do you weaponize that? And I don't want to just say basketball. That's thoughtless.
Yeah, but if she could dunk on you, that's pretty funny.
I guess, sure. Maybe her boss stage is a basketball court, and you've got an alternate win condition where if you can score enough points during the fight, she just gives up.
Yeah, that could be cool. That would be a little bit of a different.
She stresses out so bad over losing the game, she just shuts down.
Yeah. I don't know. That could be cool. And then your weapon you get from her is the Chaos Dunk.
You know what? Mega Man just doing like a Michael Jordan-esque leap and then just spiking some kind of explosive to clear the screen. I would play that. That would be fun.
Yep. That'd be cool. Here's Comic the Hedgehog. Glomgold's Isekai adventures continue. Today he lands in Dreamland / Planet Popstar. Will he fight with DDD? Will steal a slice of shortcake? Get swallowed by Kirby? What would her pink puffball even look like?
Oh, he's definitely going to be picking fights with DDD. He's not going to steal a slice of cake. He's going to steal the cake.
Oh, no.
You see what Kirby does when you steal a slice. He takes the whole thing. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Kirby, you do not steal Kirby's food, needless to say.
And then you have Kirby with this big old beard and a kilt and the Scottish Tom and a most delightfully terrible Scottish accent. Boy, oh.
Kirby with the high-pitched Scottish accent. High-pitched Glomgold.
Just imagine doing the victory dance, but he's singing it himself.
Perfect. That's exactly what would happen.
Like, Glomgold's the type of guy who would try to mug Wispywood for his apples. Because what are you gonna do? Chase me down, tree man? And then Wispywood goes on the attack.
Yeah. Oh man. This is good. This is good.
Maybe he wouldn't fight DDD initially. I think he'd punk him into a Ponzi scheme of some kind. Because DDD is pretty darn greedy in his own right.
Yeah. And
except once the Devil's Due came and Glomgold, couldn't deliver, DDD's got that mallet, and the East Sky adventures continue.
Yeah. I think Glomgold's going to get the wrong idea that this is nothing but a cutesy happy world. And then the horrific monsters show up. He's like,
everyone's back.
Oh boy.
Open the chest of the chthonic terrors. There's only one eyeball in there, and it's angry.
Glomgold hops onto a warp star. It takes off, and he falls off immediately. Can't ride it. Boom, boom.
He's in Air Riders, and every time he takes a turn, he just goes tumbling off. Star waits for him to come running back, hop back on.
Curse you, McPuff. Terrible. Poor guy. Anyway, he dies, obviously, because the Isekai adventures must continue. Here's one from Double L. The longest text adventure of our lives continues. To recap, me and Ian share a lizard body, and we're at a sewer crossroad. We have one set of moss, some sick pogs, and one delicious mouse in our inventory. Our previous actions were for both of us to look for exits and explain the BumbleKast. You look around the area, trying to find another option. As you do, you explain the BumbleKast to Deli. For the sake of avoiding a paradox, assume in this AU, Double L continued to ask bad questions about the boom-like Mega Man burst instead of whatever this is. By the time you explain that the content was provided as is with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness, you notice they're not paying attention. They're deep in thought. You return to searching. As you examine the wall in front of you, you notice a section that is slightly off color. The bricks seem to be more recent. Tapping the wall makes it seem to you that there's a room beyond. Suddenly, Deli snaps their finger equivalents in an aha moment.
Boss, you ever watch One Piece? You know Sanji's nickname for Zoro?
They look at you expectantly, unaware that you probably haven't read or watched it.
Well, somebody asks a question to BumbleKast and then immediately loses interest. That seems par for the course. Okay.
And then asks another question about something we talk about on the BumbleKast. Or something they think we would know about on the BumbleKast that we probably don't.
So, do you know who Sanji and Zoro are?
Not really, no.
Okay, I don't either. So, I'm going to say we just kind of stare at him awkwardly for a minute and then push on the wall as hard as we can to see if it'll open up.
All right, yeah, that sounds about good to me. That's like all we can really do. Clearly, this is where we're supposed to go, as determined by our benevolent storyteller. So, yeah, that's what we shall do. Who knows what this room is, but could be worse than the one we're currently in, but hey, at least it's something. Here's one from Dove. Great job, N-Team, but you need to stay alert. GLaDOS is mad after not getting a good fleet from the gacha mechanic in Genshin Impact World, so she's sending 2 of her lesser minions to try something else. She went into the old rosters and was able to get a pair of veteran villains. N-Team, prepare yourself for the fight of your lives against the team of Glass Joe and Bob the Killer Goldfish.
So, the rest of the team's going to be a little anxious. Glass Joe is a veteran fighter from the underground boxing ring.
Yep.
Bob the Killer Goldfish, he's got killer in the name.
Yeah.
He's terribly threatening.
Yes, he's a very fearsome enemy from the Earthworm Jim universe. Yes.
Everyone's gearing up for a hard fight, and I'm just kind of looking at him going, guys, we don't, okay, let me handle this. Step forward and, kind of play into it. Glass Joe and Bob, two of the most fearsome villains in gaming history. My goodness, whatever will we do? Good thing the two of you haven't combined your powers. We would never stand a chance.
Uh-oh.
Which they both think is a wonderful idea. We played right into our hands near her. So Joe pops the goldfish bowl on his head. Does it with such finesse, the water doesn't pour out. So while Bob is arguing with him on how to proceed, he's drowning in the fish bowl. He can't get it off. The gloves are too cumbersome. He drowns, falls over, smashes Bob under his head. We win.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm enjoying this running theme where everybody's getting ready to do something cool and in theme, and then I just break it with the meta, and we all kind of laugh at their expense.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the other alternative is that we eat Bob the Killer Goldfish, because that's what happens in Earthworm Jim. That's their boss fight.
I mean, there's that option.
But, I think I like yours. Yours is more fun. And it takes them both out in the same thing.
Can't wait for us to finally confront GLaDOS, and I'll just shake a bag of Lay's at her and she shuts down from PTSD.
Not the potatoes. No. All right. One last question before I take a break. It's from Hero Squad. You two have talked about some movies that were so bad that it hits just right. Now let's talk about the opposite of good bad and go for bad bad. What are some movies you don't like? Your most unfavorite movies, the bottom of the barrel, ones that really grind your gears.
They don't go back to movies.
Not that usually,
I really didn't like.
Yeah.
But the third prequel Star Wars movie, Revenge of the Sith, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Phantom Menace, I can watch because that gives me a lot to complain about. Like, I can pick apart the narrative construction and where it doesn't align with any of the lore that was established in the original trilogy and why the over-reliance in CGI brings it down. I can deconstruct it going through. That gives me something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Attack of the Clones has a few high moments in it. There's some nice brain-dead fun stuff in there. I can watch it again in a semi-ironic fashion. Revenge of the Sith is unwatchable. There's no redeeming qualities to it whatsoever, except the memes. There's like, I can tell you how you can fix Phantom Menace. I can tell you how you can fix Attack on the Clones. Revenge of the Sith is, I'm not going to do this.
No, you've done this before. It's also funny though. It's funny because Revenge of the Sith is broadly considered to be the best of the prequel trilogy, but I don't know. I don't know what I feel about them. That they're all pretty rough. They're not great. So I don't know. But I don't really go back to movies that I hate very often, and I try not to think about them too much. But one that I do think about how bad it is. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is an awful movie. It's horrible. I have no idea what anybody saw in that movie that was worthwhile. It's just not. It's not. Like,
I legit forgot about it. I put it out of my head.
It's just gross. It's just awful. It's like I've seen bad movies. I've seen bad blockbusters even, but like when it comes to those, I'm like, this is on a level of like just sheer crap. Like, it's just bad. Also Transformers 2, the movie, the live action Revenge of the Fallen or whatever. It's just awful. Oh God. Like, I saw that in theaters. Luckily, I didn't have to pay to see it in theaters, but I saw it in theaters. And yeah, I was like surprised at how bad it was. And what made it even worse was that one of the people we went with was like, yeah, it was really cool. It had great sound design. It sounded great. And I'm like, dude, the movie was hot garbage. I don't know if you caught that part. Like, that was just bad. I don't know. Maybe it sounded cool, but I don't know. It just, it wasn't cool. Terrible movie. I'm like, wow. The first live action Transformers was actually okay. I was kind of surprised about that. It's actually well, okay. In retrospect, it's not great. But like, kind of at the time, it wasn't. I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was too bad. But Transformers 2 was like, oh no. That one was rough. Very rough. Well, thanks for dredging up those memories, Hero Squad. Guess we'll take a break so we can recover.
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Strawbz. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can cut that, right?
No, we can cut that.
Okay. We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
You know, just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee the Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast.
Ciao!
We're back with a question from Jara. How would it go if Lissy was the older child and Wind was the wee little one?
You guys keep introducing these great alternate takes on it. It's like, ooh, I want to literally explore all the options. Lissy, if at that age, assuming she grew up, same general timeline, she would be much more even keel, disillusioned to the realities of life, but she would still be that positive, upbeat individual. And overjoyed to have a little sister, another Drogoon in the world, and she wants to help nurture and guide and rear her to, face this unfriendly cosmos. It would be so much easier if she wasn't goblin mode 24/7.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a tiny goblin Wind.
Wind would be just how she was when she was initially hatched. As I said, goblin mode 24/7. Bouncing off the walls, checking to see if anything is edible by biting everything.
Literally.
Questioning the authority and the reasoning behind everything. And then when you explain it, defying it.
Literally gnawing on anything and everything that fits into her mouth, and even stuff that doesn't.
Yep. Jobin just kind of raises an arm and she's dangling off it like a remora eel. Lissy, your pet sister thing. Gonna take it by that mom. Need that to fly the ship, please. And Lissy is trying her utmost to remain calm and nurturing, because when else is she going to get this opportunity to mold a new life? And it's someone from her own people that she's never had a chance to interact with. She doesn't want to mess this up. Foreign, how in the world did you do this with me? And he's just shaking his head going, you are a much better kid. You gave us no trouble.
Yeah. Lissy,
is that a new proximity alarm? Yes, we made sure to put one in. Wind's back in the airlock. Wind, no!
Lissy being the suffering big sister is kind of heartbreaking, but also it'd be fun to see, fun to explore.
It would be wholesome, ultimately.
Yes. You really need to do the Drogoon what if. Maybe someday.
Or take the key components of the ideas and remix it into a new crew.
Yeah, that's true. It's the thing about Drogoon. It's not just it's not necessarily just about one group of characters.
Yep. You boil it down to the core archetypes and say, okay, this is how this would work. And now it's different. So how do the differences affect these dynamics? And I get yet another project. Either way, I'm working on a new Drogoon project. Quit it.
Well, you need content for your Patreons.
Dude, I've got 3 projects on the go right now, and that's because I'm strict.
Yeah. So, I mean, what if the fans wrote it? Get some fanfic going.
Sure. I mean, folks go nuts. Fan art, fanfic, fan music, fan whatever.
Yeah.
I know there's not a ton of material out there so far, but, if you feel the creative inspiration, go for it. Go nuts.
And hey, you can
share it.
You can ask Ian questions directly about it, even if you need something, if you need to know something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Here we are. All right. Chrysalis asks, hello, Ian and Kyle. Just curious, have y'all seen Reboot? Just got done rewatching it after years.
Good show.
I vaguely remember it being good, but I honestly have not really seen it since I was a kid, since it was contemporary with Sad AM.
I would say you do need the rose-tinted glasses on a little bit. The early seasons, the episodic, more goofy adventures, the very early, very rough CGI.
Yeah.
They're finding their feet. And then they start getting into their bigger overarching narratives. And they start having purpose and direction. And then it starts getting engaging. And then they go real hardcore 90s dark. And it's delightful in that ironic way. So it loops back around to just being delightful legitimately. And that cliffhanger ending is just, it resonates with me to this day. Like, I almost don't want them to ever follow up, because how can you follow up and act like that? That cliffhanger ending was spectacular.
I'm being told the episode Bad Bob is a Reboot episode, I'm assuming, is apparently the reason we have Mad Max Fury Road. What? How did that happen?
I'm imagining the meme with the ever-escalating sized dominoes.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, how do you go from an episode of Reboot to one of the greatest action movies ever made? I don't know. But I'll take it. Okay. Wow. Interesting. I don't know.
I will say the Damon arc I felt was a bit rushed, a little muddled, but the end for Hexadecimal's arc and the way she's just cackling over the end credits gives me goosebumps. And the way things escalated and fit together when they really started getting into the darker storylines was incredibly impactful on me and how I tell stories. So yeah, good show, worth a watch.
I really should go back to it, because I really haven't watched it since I was a kid, honestly. But I don't know. It's still got a fans and followers. It's still very popular. So, and I remember it being good. I remember enjoying it beyond just it being like unique for the time, being a 3D animated show. And
given how early that CGI was, it's pretty good when you take everything into consideration. But I was going to say, I think somebody managed to track down all of the master tapes and digitize them. So it's been faithfully chronicled, restored, and archived, which is insane. Yeah, apparently there's a restoration project going on for it, and they're actually releasing the episodes on YouTube officially. So that's pretty cool. Oh, that's cool and convenient. Very nice. Well then. I guess I don't have an excuse. Damn it. Live by the credo, mend and defend. Curse you. Curse you, Chrysalis. Thank you. Let's move on to this one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Ian, you've worked on your fair share of IPs like Mega Man, DC, My Little Pony, and some more.
Do you have like any dream IPs you hope to one day work on, or do you feel fulfilled?
Oh no, I'm ever greedy. Give me more.
You always have ideas. I know that.
We brought up on the show numerous times Star Fox, although at this juncture it's kind of bitter. I don't want to work on it. I want to take the IP away from Nintendo.
You want to fix it.
I want to take it in, shelter it, nurture it back to health, and put it out there properly.
Yeah.
And in this magical scenario, I have the money and resources and connections to actually do that. I would like to return to the Mighty Crusaders stuff that I did way back in the day and actually finish those story arcs.
I really enjoyed those, actually, and those issues were pretty good. But I'm like, they just kind of end. Like, there's no more to them. It's like, wow, there was good stuff going on there.
Same for Cosmo. Same for Super Duck.
Mm-hmm.
I was within striking distance of being on a Shovel Knight project a while back. And it fell through.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like, no.
That's real close to a Metal Gear series project that fell through. And I was bummed because I was excited for what I had for that.
You were ready. You've been talking about working on Metal Gear for forever. So damn it.
And I'm of two minds with it because on the one hand, I feel like I have some ideas that could be very fun, and I would do the best I can. On the others, I don't know if I have the right voice. If I could capture what Metal Gear storytelling feels like.
Yeah, well, it's very unique.
There's that whole, alternate history view set and futurism and surrealism that I just don't know if I can replicate. So this would have to be something that's kind of adjacent, not 100% tonally faithful, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
If the opportunity arose. And I mean, we can sit here all day and I can go through various IPs that I have enjoyed working on or I have enjoyed playing or interacting with and wanting to contribute to. If Bamco ever wants somebody cheap, I'll write a Tales of game. I want to write a Tales of game. If there's any developer out there who's like, hey, Bamco kind of dropped the ball with the Tales of series, we just want to use those mechanics and make our own RPG. I'm here. Contact information is over at bumbleking.com. I want to do my big epic sweeping JRPG styled story.
Animu RPG. Let this man write an anime RPG. Let him do it. He'll do it. He'll do it for cheap. Not free, but cheap. All right. Soccercott. Here's the question. Ian Flynn is the head writer of a new Space Jam movie, but this time the Looney Tunes characters have to defeat the Monstars in Bandy? Everyone is there. Bugs, Daffy, Lola, even Pepe Le Pew. How would Ian write that movie? What is Bandy?
Bandy is a winter sport and a ball sport played by two teams wearing ice skates on a large ice surface, either indoors or outdoors, while using sticks to direct a ball to the opposing team's goal.
Oh, okay, so it's hockey with a ball. Okay.
Bandy is sometimes considered the predecessor of ice hockey. Both sports belong to a family of sports called hockey.
Well, I certainly hope so.
I also gotta wonder, would a ball be easier to control or would a puck be easier to control?
I don't know. Apparently there's no fighting in Bandy, so, well, that's out. Never mind. No wonder no one knows what Bandy is.
I was gonna say, there's a reason why you asked, what's Bandy? Here you go. That's the plot of the movie, is the Toon Crew and the Monstars are playing Bandy, and eventually they just give up on any pretense and just open up wail on each other, and they invent the sport of ice hockey.
Okay.
One of the Monstars sits on the ball, it flattens into a puck, fists are thrown, gloves come off, it becomes ice hockey.
Yeah, that's great, actually. I think that works. Turns it into hockey. Might as well.
And I'm envisioning this great visual gag where one of the Monstars has the ball and they're on a breakaway and they glance over their shoulder and there's just Pepe Le Pew right behind them. Butt it up, butt it up, butt it up, butt it up. And they're weaving across the ice and they're spinning around. They're passing the ball back and forth and he looks over his shoulder. Butt it up, Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
Oh, no.
Can't escape him.
Ugh.
Get up to the goal. Look to the left. No Pepe Le Pew. Look to the right. No Pepe Le Pew. All right, they finally got by. They're going to take the shot. The ball's gone, and there goes Pepe back down the ice. Ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da.
That freaking skunk.
Daffy's bell gets swatted off his face, and they bat that around instead of the ball for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Lola's coming in to score a goal, but has flashbacks to losing to Mega Man, so she can't complete the shot.
Could Tweety even compete? I think so. He'd figure something out.
But Tweety's the first one to throw hands. What are you talking about?
Put him up. Put him up. Yeah, that sounds about right. I can see it. Okay, we got one from Strawbz. Someone's infiltrating the Bumble compound. To get to you and Kyle, the final bosses, they must defeat the Bumble crew. In what order are they facing the crew bosses? And what shticks/abilities does each crew member have?
Well, first in line is Professor Rye, who opens the door for them.
Yeah.
Nothing malicious. He just thinks it'd be funny.
Rye's shtick is to just do whatever he thinks is the funniest. He doesn't care.
Noni is a cooking-themed boss.
Noni says that the moment the door opens, they're firing a shotgun. I don't know what they're firing the shotgun at, but they're firing a shotgun, so...
I'm going to assume it's full of foodstuffs because this is a family show.
Yes, it's a blunderbuss full of baked goods.
Let's see, JR Unbound has already chronicled all of their weaknesses and has the timestamps of all their movements coming through the compound. Mm-hmm. So you have to defy expectations. Thevius has lured them into a trap room, escape room type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And he has seeded it in such a way that it looks like there's options to get out, but there really isn't.
Okay.
He's a devious Thevius.
Yes, indeed.
Puppy asks you to very, very politely, please don't invade the Bumble compound. Like, you bypass Puppy, and Puppy's going, really, I highly recommend you don't do that. Could you please not? And you ignore Puppy, because why would you acknowledge this? They go, okay, and open the next door, and there's Strawberry, who just beats them up.
It's true. Strawbz just leaps across the room and just freaking tackles them into the ground and starts beating the crap out of them. That sounds like her.
I asked you, I begged you not to do this for your own good, but okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Those who survive Strawbz, or at least get by while the others are being mangled, get to the next room, and there's Nova, who is pulling an Adele out of Kirby and is creating all sorts of delightfully fangy monsters on a easel that come to life and proceed to chew upon anyone there.
And then she force feeds them soap.
Yep. And then whatever poor soul manages to get that far comes into the next room and finds some lovely seating arrangements. You know, they're just going to sit down and rest for a second, and that's when Kazzy comes over the PA and thanks them for joining their flight as she flies them away from the Bumble compound.
Thanks for boarding BumbleKast Air. We hope you enjoy your flight directly into the side of this mountain.
Jennifer R. doesn't do anything because she's busy with everything else. You yahoos can take care of yourselves.
Pretty much. She don't care. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone. They don't even make it to us.
We're recording the show. It's like, what's that background noise?
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on. Yeah, it's fine.
Sitting there doing our 20-minute long discussion of the weather like old men. I guess we'll get around to recording the show. Meanwhile, the crew is fighting and dying in the trenches.
What do you mean? We'd never sit and talk about the weather for extended periods of time before we actually start recording the show. Or even during the show. We'd never do that. That's not us. All right. Question from Tudsy of the Wise. Say Deltarune had full voice acting. If you could pick voice actors for the characters, who would you pick? For example, I think Erica Lindbeck would make a good Susie. You don't have to use actor names. You can use the characters they voice instead. So Ian, Erica Lindbeck, Chevrolet from Genshin Impact, Jessie Raspberry from Final Fantasy VII Remake. I can see it. She does other stuff too.
Yeah, I'm only familiar with her Chevrolet, and I don't hear that for...
She is not that voice, no. But she is pretty multi-talented, and she definitely has that voice that can pull off Susie, I think.
All right.
I appreciate that choice. I love Erica, so yeah, I can see it.
Here's the thing. Would you cast anyone for Chris?
Would Chris make any noises whatsoever?
Well, because there are occasions where Susie and Rolsey reply to Chris, implying that Chris has said something.
Okay.
And some of the choices you make do imply that a decision has been vocalized. So Chris doesn't speak a lot, and when they do, that seems to be a momentous occasion for those who know them. But the thing is, Chris is so enigmatic. I worry that giving them any actual voice would take away that mystique. You know,
maybe they would just act like he says stuff, but he doesn't actually say anything.
Maybe.
One suggestion I'm getting is Flowery, voiced by Weird Al.
I mean, maybe if he played it relatively straight.
Yeah.
His tone, his cadence, that chumminess. If he for once did a serious role, I think he might be able to do it.
Yeah, I think he could. Let's see. Who else?
Maybe Griffin Burns for Flowery. I'm not always wild about his delivery, but his tone might be on point.
Mm-hmm. What about Birdly?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Weird Al as Spampton.
Okay. All right.
Play to his strengths, because he can do funny, he can do unsettling.
Yes.
Let him go ham.
Let him do both. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Like, he could do the whole range of Spampton.
Yes.
That would be more his.
Yes. Let him go Hampton on Spampton.
Yes. Birdly.
Good old Birdly.
I know who I'm thinking of. I just have to remember the character name so I can look up the voice actor.
And then there's Noelle too. But for Birdly, what's the character from?
Hold on. I almost got it. Daggum, he had two voice actors.
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking Augustus St. Cloud from Venture Brothers.
Okay.
Christopher McCullough or James Urbank. No, Urbaniak. Just that insufferably over the top, condescending nerd voice that goes through the news. That's absolutely Birdly.
Yeah. And Noelle.
Oh, Amberly Connors.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because she can do the innocent and the helpless and the neurotic and the deranged. Noelle is a big bag of mess. And Amberly Connors has that range.
Yeah.
She can hit all of those authentically. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And who else is left?
Maybe Laurie Canston? I think I'm saying that right. For Rolsey.
I'm unfamiliar.
Durin.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
You need someone who can do that kind of vulnerable cinnamon roll good boy, but can also put the menace in there when things get serious.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see it. I can definitely see and hear that. Let's see. I think is that the main cast, right? That's all of them, basically.
Yeah, that's predominant. We can't go through everybody.
Yeah. Erica Lindbeck is also Blaze and Luna and Kit Bodega. So yeah, she's got range. She can do it. She can do Susie.
Maybe I still hear Susie in my head as a rougher, lower register.
Maybe,
but these are sprite characters who voices are depicted in beeps and boops of text. There's no one right answer.
True. Maybe another Erica would fit her as an Erica Mendez. I could see that either way. Either one I think would work. All right. Here's a question from Vineclad. I would like to order one review of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening theme with extra nostalgia, please.
I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh!
Maybe we should have looked this up.
I've got a link right here from official Yu-Gi-Oh! From 11 years ago, season 1, version 2. Let's go off of that. I'll get that link for you.
Okay. Wait, the remix, the part where he goes, "It's time to duel," is actually officially from the theme song?
Yep.
I thought that was only like some kind of fan-made remix.
Nope.
I did not realize.
I remember this now,
Okay.
actually, having gone to see it. I remember this. I guess it was between other things I was watching at the time. And
Yeah.
you know what? That has aged very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was getting some funny, like, N64 GoldenEye vibes with the music at some points, which was very funny. Very funny. But I'm in an enjoyable way. I was like, oh, all right, this is cool. I enjoy this MIDI.
It's a good track. It's well cut.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's dramatic.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to pick up a children's card game.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. That didn't have to go that hard, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah. Good time.
Yeah. Is that the expositionary part of it? Is that on every episode? Like where it explains the whole premise of the show to you? Is that every episode? No.
No idea.
No? Yes? I'm getting conflicting information on that. I don't know if that's in every episode, but man, you remember back in the days when like they had long expositionary intros and shows? They don't do that anymore.
1,000 years ago, sorcery and the sword ruled.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was arrested and sentenced to military prison for a crime they didn't commit. They don't do that anymore. It's a lost art.
The expository intro, the rollicking theme song. We need some earworms back, dadgummit.
I know. I'm tired of all these like 2-second long intros to shows. Bring back theme songs.
Not remotely related, but do you know how deeply disappointed I was when Enterprise played its theme song?
I was surprised too. I was like, this is not what I expected from a Star Trek show.
You know, you're used to all these big, rousing orchestral segments, and it's been a long road. What?
I don't hate it.
From here to
I personally, I don't hate it, but it is very like very different and very like this is not the direction I was expecting this to go.
It's also the show where it's like only took 4 seasons for it to start to get good. And so,
It took 4 seasons for it to get good, and there's only 3. I think there are 4, isn't there? I don't know. 5?
I don't remember. Point is, Vineclad, thank you for prompting. That was an excellent intro.
Yes. That is some nostalgia. Even though I don't recall seeing it myself at the time, there's a lot of nostalgic qualities to it. I was also thinking of like the intro to X-Men Evolution, kind of that similar musically a little bit. Some of that in there. I was like, all right, I get it. All right, one last question. It's from Wildcard717. So on the Fortune's Lap, you have 2 beings with scales, one being made of stone and one being covered in fur. How often do they have to unclog the shower because of the sheer amount of different things that get stuck in the drain?
Working concept, so don't hold me to this, but on long haul ships like the Fortune's Lap, you don't have a lot of room for water, especially potable water. So when it comes to regular everyday cleaning, they have a kind of boxy room that has a few magical hexes built into it that just kind of scours you with cleanliness. Grime, microbes, whatever. It's kind of like almost microwaved off you. So technically you're clean, but you don't really feel clean. You just feel sterilized. So whenever they get into port and they have the opportunity, if there's, a way station to go to where you can get a proper wash, they kind of go for it.
Mm.
Well, Foreign and Lissy do. Wind has to be convinced. Like just getting her into the hex box was hard enough. She doesn't want bath time. She worked hard to look like this, to smell like this. You can't rob her of this dignity.
Okay, so what you're saying is canonically wind is quite smelly. That sounds
she
about
can
right.
be if she wants to be.
And she usually does, I'm guessing.
Only because it pisses Foreign off. Like she practiced good hygiene otherwise, but Foreign has to say something about it. So if he's going to make a stink over it, she's going to make a stink over it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
If anything, Lissy is the blessing that the crew needed because she'll say, you're stinky. And one's like, fine, I'll go wash. Cleanse, purge, whatever you call it. Flips the switch.
Rude. All right. Well, I think we're getting pretty stinky, so we should probably get going.
Thank you so much to everyone who supports the show over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or by being a YouTube member. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Take care, everybody.
We're on a starship, but you wouldn't know from the song.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad and bluesy, because we couldn't afford Creed.
It's a bit more of a country song than a rock song. Weirdly enough.
There.
Did Enterprise's theme influence what Firefly's theme sounds like? I have to wonder about that. Which one
Maybe,
was
but
first?
Firefly's theme is so much better.
It is. Well, yeah, it is. It is so much better. But I have to wonder if there was like some influence there of like doing that. So, I don't know. Either way.
There was one kiosk was, for a pet groomers, and they had a little waiting pool out for pets to come and dip in, and I was eyeing it going, how much trouble will I get in if I just belly flop right now? Excuse me, madam. How hard do I have to bark before you let me roll around in that pool?
Yeah.
I'm not proud. Please tell me.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Discord, that cord, record, whatever.
Cord.
Better pull it. Pull the ripcord in.
Bail out now while you still can, children.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out. Get out while you still can. Anyway.